Let's talk about our old friend Zelensky today. I noticed nobody cares about him anymore. Not just during the holidays, fewer people are talking about him even on normal days. Even I seem to have gradually forgotten about him, and I've been reflecting on why. I built my channel on Zelensky, how could I forget? Forgetting my routes. I slapped myself, got up, wrote to support Zelensky. Last video, December 17, 2025. The Americans want to split Russia's $300 billion in the West. Europe wants to split it with Zelensky too. The two sides got stuck, then Europe suggested using the money as collateral. Lend $140 billion to Ukraine, and Europe will pay it back if they can't. Seize Russia's money again. America asked, will you Europeans pay it back? Of course, if I lied, I'd be your son. Dad, let's not touch that money yet. Nothing worked. December 19th. Europe gritted its teeth and decided to lend Ukraine 90 billion euros interest-free from its own pocket. Zelensky was really touched and said this was a big victory for Ukraine. Without this money, Ukraine would be in a tough spot, but with it, things will improve a lot. It's like modern versus old farm tools. It also sends a message to Russia, there's no point in continuing the fight. Since Ukraine got funding, it means their troops won't collapse at the front. Glory goes to Ukraine, defeat falls on Russia. We need to know this money was proposed by the European Commission. The next step still need approval from all member countries. And after that, each country has their own process to buy weapons and so on. Won't arrive soon. Momo knows this too, so he keeps pushing for more help. On December 19th, Momo visited Poland and met President Naraki at a press conference. Hey, Momo's here. Long time no see, bro. Momo's cute and handsome. He shook my hand just now, so charismatic and contagious. I'm obsessed with him, my heart's melting. I'd give him $1 billion for free. Shut up about his cuteness, okay? At the press conference, Momo said he needed Poland's support, while Naraki replied, Momo, you're being a little ungrateful. We've put in so much effort and support for Ukraine. But you never showed any thanks. You don't even call me president. Momo replied sarcastically, saying Ukraine is always grateful to Poland, and by the way, Ukraine is paying a huge human cost to defend Europe from Russia, but Europe doesn't seem thankful either. Momo, skip talk, stick to usual mutual benefits deal. Poland will keep supporting Ukraine through military aid and logistics. Ukraine is also willing to share its experience and technology in drone defense with Poland, and has invited Poland to join its reconstruction plan. Share. Poland also said it hopes Ukraine will protect its energy facilities, so they can work better with Poland on the LNG terminal project. I'm seriously worried about your energy stuff, Zhao. I can't even sleep because of it. Strengthen defenses when back. Will do, President. That night, fake sound dun tilde fake sound dun tilde hello, who's this? Zhao. Zhao, are you crazy? It's late at night, why are you calling me instead of sleeping? President, you lied. You said you couldn't sleep worrying about me. You look like you're sleeping fine. Zhao. After Poland, Zhao saw Kharkiv front lines, Kupiansk area. When he arrived, he saw trouble. Ukrainian forces barely hold the city. But the Russian encirclement is tightening at this rate. It's like Yan Xianyao's men getting caught in a brawl. Sooner or later they're gonna slip up. So why are the Ukrainian troops losing ground? Maybe ammo and air defense supply issues, delivery delays. Wait, why? So why are the deliveries delayed? Honestly, who knows what the Europeans are doing? Aid always comes this slow. Americans won't give aid. I don't know why they keep those weapons. For Americans, guns are more like stationary, usually used in schools. Might as well send to Ukraine. The EU said, production is limited. Who can you blame? Stop rushing. I can't just make it out of thin air. Mosey, you misunderstand. If you think a week is just 7 days, our production can't meet demand. But if you take a week as from ancient times to last week, our capacity is decent. Once he realized these Europeans couldn't help militarily anytime soon, Mosey said he wanted the EU to set a timetable. They kept saying they'd invite Ukraine to join the EU but never set a date. No time, you're talking for nothing. I said I'd post daily, later didn't specify which later, could be a million years from now. What if the EU's future means after it falls apart? This time, Mosey gave them an ultimatum. Now the EU has to decide when they'll invite Ukraine. 2027 or 2028. EU delivers weapons to Ukraine too slowly. So we have to join the EU for security. That's what you owe Ukraine. No rush to set Ukraine's joining date, but make it soon, hopefully by 2027. Mosey really got the EU tangled up, since that's not realistic timing-wise. You might not finish the war in 27 years, how can you join? Poland took 10 years to join the EU without war. Zelensky's kids are suffering, no rewards, no fight. EU executive considers Ukraine's quick limited membership EU stuck to prior plan. Ukraine got candidate membership as planned. Why earlier idea? Because back in November last year, the EU brought it up once, but Zelensky turned it down. Then in December, they proposed it again. Candidate membership means Ukraine would be an EU member, but more independent. For example, at EU summits or minister meetings, Ukraine's reps can join, get meals, but no vote. Ukraine can sell an EU single market by paying tariffs. Agricultural subsidies and development funds, unused EU funds go to Ukraine. No leftovers deficit yearly. And the main thing is security, Ukraine, as a candidate EU member. Other candidate members must help. So let's say Ukraine gets invaded. Ukraine must help fend off invaders. This prestigious candidate membership is exclusive only Ukraine. Of course, this status isn't permanent. If Ukraine performs well, the EU will evaluate and upgrade them. Full member status grants same rights as other countries. Zelensky, check the docs for details. As for the EU offering Zelensky candidate membership again, he'll definitely turn it down again. This isn't associate member status, it's an unequal treaty. If I'm willing to sign this, I'd sign with Putin, not you. And I'm about to negotiate with Trump. If you don't give me a reason, I don't have a bottom line. Seeing Ozawa anxious, EU said to calm him, does not joining EU matter. Anyway, we have been supporting you and giving you assistance. What are you afraid of? Estonia also set up a statue for you. Although it is a sand sculpture, it is completely modeled after the statue of the Free Muse. It belongs to the Statue of Liberty. You are not satisfied. In short, we all firmly support Ukraine. You should talk about it. With the encouragement and support of the big brother of the European Union, Ozawa dared to relax and meet with Keiko again. This negotiation's content isn't important, the first part will change later. Jizzy will make a shocking top work after New Year. Europe's attention to Ozawa will be dispersed then. January 3, 2026, Majuro captured by Delta Force. And at the press conference that day, a reporter asked about Ozawa, how do you think Majuro is sleeping? It was taken to the United States, and Ozawa said with a smile that he could do this if he dealt with Venezuela. Then the United States should know what to do next. Not what do you mean by that? I mean, Delta Force should put the next map in Moscow and get Putin. These words made reporters laugh, Ozawa too. But soon he couldn't laugh anymore because he found that Denmark was threatened by the expansion of its territory. Countries are turning to Greenland. No one cares about him. EU meets frequently. They comforted Denmark, promised weapons, and sent dozens of troops to help. The difference feels even more obvious. How you usually treat me versus how you treat him now. So one's family, the others picked up. But some ask, didn't Europe send mercenaries to help? More righteous than Denmark's people, why isn't Zhao Zi satisfied? Zhao Zi wants the same support as Greenlandan official aid announcement. Not secretly sending mercenaries and denying it. Official support means we're all in this together. Secret troops still mean public refusal, then US tariffs scared 7 countries. And Zhao Zi heard about it, he was both furious and frustrated. He was anxious, upset, couldn't accept it. He announced he wouldn't attend this year's Davos Forum. But on January 22nd, he suddenly spoke at 2026 Davos annual meeting. He angrily declared that Europe was too weak both on the Ukraine issue and on Greenland. Europe must take Arctic security seriously, Davos 2026. Then either set up a European military base to protect the region and let America do its own thing. Or just stay out of it and let America trample all over you. Europe talks a bit and pretends tough. Make people think something will happen, but nothing does, like telling your friend. We can date, however you treat me, I don't mind, but don't ever go after my mom. If you dare touch my mom, I'll tell my husband. I'll have a beat you, but when you actually goes after you, you don't dare act. That was 2026, so what's the point of these threats? Europe should impose more sanctions on Russia. You're a global force that can't be ignored. Annual meeting Davos 2026. You're a global power impossible to ignore. Davos 2026, Europe strong but always defensive. It should have been swift and easy. Now it's a frantic scramble just to get by. Why, Europe's low defense spending and political division on Russia strategy. Refuse frozen assets for Ukraine. Look at US Davos 2026 stormed palace, captured Majuro. Look at you Groundhog Day, can't protect yourselves. Davos 2026 annual meeting. Year after year, nothing changes. It just repeats, ending up bare. I warned you last year, defend Russia, you didn't listen. Davos 2026 annual meeting. People usually lose the lower half, but Europe lost the top half. Why are you so unwilling to spend the money to help Ukraine? Why don't you want to help yourselves? Stop the American dream. Thank Trump he gave Ukraine Patriot air defense system. Intercepted Russian missiles. They helped intercept Russian missiles.
Missiles hit Ukraine during 2026 Davos. Civilians lost power, heat, water. Life was tough. America saved them. Thanks, US President. Thank you, President.
After Ozawa's 2026 annual meeting speech, Europe was furious, even enraged. They're criticizing Zelensky for ingratitude. What about Trump giving you patriots? The patriots were bought by us. We paid for them. You thank Trump, but you don't thank us, and you even insult us. Why should the good guys get threatened at gunpoint? Europeans condemned Zelensky one after another. Italian Foreign Minister Tanya said Zelensky lacks gratitude. He betrayed Europe's support. Without us, your patriots and Maduro might end up together. One in Washington, one in Moscow, do you believe it? Then German MP7 Gagrin accused Zelensky of being arrogant. You dared to openly criticize Europe. Where did you get such nerve? Former French MP Philippot even said Zelensky managed to insult everyone, including Europeans who gave him weapons and money. Every time, we send hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions in aid. Even crypto can't spend like that, and this is how you treat us. Europe shouldn't give a euro or weapon anymore. Zelensky figure it out himself. Even Bojan Panchevsky from the Wall Street Journal, who used to support Zelensky, said, both are sky, but Zelensky went too far. They're losing sanity. This EU attack is unbelievably ungrateful. I think Mosey went too far. You rely on Europe for support, so how can you bash them? Everything he said was true, brutally cute. Mosey later explained the issue was problems purchasing American weapons with European funds. European countries delayed Patriot deliveries, so he was anxious. But then, on January 30th, two insiders told the Financial Times that European countries didn't delay weapon deliveries. Zelensky's claims are inaccurate, he's just full of nonsense. All for some attention and clicks spreading wild rumors without shame. On January 31st, Armando Mema of Finland's Liberty League also said, Mosey's only way to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict is to accept the Kremlin's invitation. Go to Moscow for real dialogue. Mema stressed that Russia is a reliable player and respects agreements. Russians are morally solid. Mosey, hurry to Moscow for talks. Then Putin responded, saying that back in September, he had already invited Mosey, but he didn't come. Now I'm officially inviting Mosey again. I'm waiting for you in Moscow come for negotiations. But Ukraine opposed this strongly. Why would I go to Moscow? If I do, will I even make it back? Why don't you come to Kyiv, Putin? Mema, honestly, your advice suits your name. At this point, Mosey is finally seeing through things. The truth is, these Europeans are unreliable and incompetent. If he wants things to work, he needs to turn to Trump. Later that day, Ozawa said in a statement, I'm ready for U.S. mediation. Dongjae, it's up to you now, and Dong Ziyai really stepped up. He called the Russian side in advance. Kyoko, you're younger, can I call you bro? Do me a favor, let's talk peace, stop attacks on Ukraine's capital and other places. Create conditions for peace talks, hold off fighting this month since Dongjae and his buddy spoke up. Sure thing, I'll do as asked, Shoigu, Gerasimov. Give respected U.S. President Trump face, stop attacking Kyiv first. Of course, all of this is Trump's own version of events. The truth is a bit different from what he says. Putin agreed to cease fire until February 1st. The issue is, their phone call was on January 30th, and after that, the Kremlin announced, we cease fire until February 1st, what comes after isn't our concern. After Russia's January 30th attack, Dong Ziyai called for ceasefire. Just after midnight January 31st, Russia launched new attacks, perfect timing. After hearing this, Ozawa thanked Trump, calling him a ray of light in winter. His words, during the harsh winter, gave Kyiv real security, I thank America. Right after thanks, Russia's missiles hit. On February 3rd, an angry Ozawa said Russia had gone too far, ignoring America's peace efforts. I don't mind getting hit, but how could you lie to America? And Trump, how did you even negotiate? How come Russia keeps attacking me? Did Putin trick you again? I need a real, workable ceasefire. Don't coax me like Wu Guotai did Sun Quan, sleep or Zhang Liao will eat you. Stop treating me like a kid. Okay, but palace spokesperson Levitt responded. President Trump wasn't surprised by Russia's latest attack because our ceasefire was set for February 1st. The February 1st attack happened as promised. Putin kept his word, trust him in talks, Xiaoyos. Alright, so this is the game everyone's playing now. On February 5th, frustrated Xiaoyos gave an exclusive interview to France's public TV and started criticizing Europe again. He first said, Russia-Ukraine conflict, Europe's deadliest since World War II, killing hundreds of thousands. Millions forced from homes. 55,000 Ukrainian soldiers died on front lines. Xiaoyos' casualty numbers are terrible news. Why? Because in such intense warfare, so few deaths means most soldiers are simply missing. Missing means no trace after death, like being blown up. Their families can't get survivor benefits. Shayoz's death tolls are bogus, unreliable. In February 2024, first reporting casualties, he said 31,000 died. February 2025, for 6K dead, he said. Feb 2026, he says 55,000. If that's accurate, Ukrainian army only added 9,000 deaths from February last year to this February. 750 per month. According to U.S. Gun Violence Archive stats, over 14,600 died from U.S. gun violence in 2025. That's more than 1,300 people killed every month. So, technically, the Ukrainian front line seems even safer than the U.S. Zhao Zi says 9,000 Ukrainian soldiers died in 2025. 1,000 Ukrainian bodies, 38 Russians, 16,000 Ukrainians returned with 600 Russians. Despite huge gap, he has said Russia loses more. But Russia returned with 16,000 Ukrainian bodies, over 16,000. That number doesn't add up, unless Zhao Zi uses dark magic to revive those bodies. Send back to front to fight again. Only explanation, Ukrainian authorities may pay 55,000 compensation. After the death toll, Zhao Zi threatened allies, so many died. I'm not scaring you. What I mean is, life in Europe is amazing and beautiful, so we have to protect that. If Ukraine doesn't stop Putin today, he'll invade Europe. Actually, I think Europe needs to rethink its priorities. The top priority should be supporting Ukraine and pressuring Putin, and then the well-being of ordinary people comes second. Europe is way too weak right now, so Putin just likes to humiliate Europe for fun. I'm stepping up to help you resist Putin, but why won't you help me? Now Moscow is using the winter is coming buff, trying to turn around the Russian army's slump at the front. This is when Europe needs to help itself, help Ukraine defend itself, and join me in asking Trump and the US for help. Because Putin only fears one person, Trump, after hearing Zhao Zi wants Europe to go with him to negotiate in the US. Hungary said no. On February 9th, Hungarian FM Shijarto said every time Zelensky meets the US, Europe's backers must act together to stop Trump pressuring Zelensky. Force him to accept unequal treaty with Russia. Are these European leaders your nannies? Zhao Zi, aren't you embarrassed? Anyone can see at a glance, these leaders look like caretakers, like nannies helping a patient. Carry his gun when he goes to the bathroom, feed him at meals, etc. The patient needs these, but a sovereign nation's leader wouldn't appear in interviews. With 6, 8, or even 10 other foreign leaders tagging along. This is an embarrassment. Maybe after being scolded like this, Zhao Zi finally figured it out. Can't win on battlefield, won't get at table, must get stronger. On February 10th, Zhao Zi signed a presidential decree revising Ukrainian citizens' military service regulations. According to the decree, during wartime, he allows people over 60 after passing a military medical check. With unit commander's approval. Serve on contract, 1 year, extendable for another year. After he announced this order, a bizarre rumor quickly spread online. Zhao Zi holds election on February 24th, 4th Ukraine war anniversary. Zhao Zi denied it immediately impossible, absolutely impossible. February 24th is special, discussing politics then is foolish. Of course I'll hold elections, but only after the war after Ukraine regains honor and defends its land. February 14th, Dongzi asked Zhao Zi, if so, why not negotiate quickly? Finish talks, hold election, Russia won't concede, can't you give up some national interests for your country? Can't you compromise? If you don't push for resolution, Ukraine will miss peace chance. By then even America won't care, pressured so, angry Zhao Zi refused to back down. He criticized Trump for imperialist actions. Why do you only expect Ukrainians to give up Donbass, but don't ask the Kremlin to sacrifice anything? I've made many concessions, this is the biggest in world history. We agreed to a ceasefire, but Putin refused. It's all Russia's fault. If he won't stop, we won't stop either. That's just how the Russia-Ukraine conflict is, it can't end. Sure, who knows how they'll keep it going? Will they go straight to a final battle, or keep fighting and talking like usual? How will the US meddle? Let's see what happens next. Alright, that's all for this video. Like and follow if you enjoyed. See you next time, maybe I'll surprise you.